Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Are you preparing for UPSC Civil Services examination? Tell me. Or you are preparing for something else in which you require a basic knowledge of general studies, or you may say that the basic knowledge of political science. Then this video is for you. What will you do when you start preparation of any examination? I'm not talking about UPSC. Firstly, you need to go through the syllabus of that examination. Then you need to study hard about the every words mentioned in that syllabus. In that way, when you start the preparation of UPSC Civil Services examination, then you also start the reading of your syllabus. Then the beginning of that syllabus, you got a word called as the amendment. So from this you can imagine how much this amendment of Indian Constitution is important for your preparation of civil services examination. If you miss this topic, it may be paid in a very huge loss in your mains examination. So be focused in this video regarding this topic, and I assured you that if you watch this video till end, then every doubts regarding the amendment is vanished from your mind. So let's start this topic, that is the amendment of Indian Constitution. As you know that friend, our constitution is a written constitution, and like any other written constitution, our Indian Constitution also provide for its amendment in order to change itself with the changing situation and needs. Friends, when we talk about the written constitution of USA, it has very rigid provision for the amendment of its constitution. But when we talk about the constitution of UK, which is very much flexible. When we talk about the rigid or flexible, it means that the provision which require the special majority is known as the rigid, and when we talk about the provision of the amendment or provision of the passing of any bill with a simple majority, then it is known as the flexible. Our Indian Constitution provides us the synthesis of both rigid as well as the flexible in our amendment procedure. So let us start the actual start this video with the actual definition of the constitution amendment. And if you want, you can note it down in your notebook about this definition, which is very useful for you. So let's start. Article 368 in part 20 of Indian Constitution deals with the power of Parliament, which may in exercise of its constituent power to amend the Constitution by way of addition, variation or repeal any provision of the Constitution in accordance with the procedure laid down for the purpose. Here the word laid down for the purpose, we will discuss it in later in this video, that what is this mean that laid down for the purpose. Now, however, if we talk about all provision of the constitution, that can Parliament amend all provisions? No. Parliament cannot amend those provisions which forms the basic structure of Indian Constitution, and this was ruled by the Supreme Court in famous Kesavananda Bharti case 1973. So what is the basic structure? We will discuss in our another video about the basic structure of the Constitution, but in this video we will only discuss about the amendment and its procedure. So what is the procedure of this amendment? Friends, the amendment of Indian Constitution can only be initiated through the introduction of bill for the purpose in either house of the Parliament. As you know that there are two houses in the Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So introduction of bill must be introduced in the either house of Parliament, but not in the state legislature. And here one more thing you need to point, that the introduction of bill can only be introduced by the private member of the Parliament or the minister of the Parliament. And for the introduction of bill, they did not require the prior permission of the president. As you know that in money bill we require the prior permission of the president, but in the bill of amendment we do not require any permission from the president. Then the main important procedure which are required when we introduce the bill in the parliament, then comes upon the part of passage. How will the bill passes? So the bill must be passed separately in each house of the parliament. That if we talk about Lok Sabha, then bill it must be passed in Lok Sabha as well as in Rajya Sabha with a majority of special majority. What is the special majority? That is the majority of the total membership of the house and the majority of the two-third of the member present and voting. So it's a very difficult situation when we talk about the two-third. Many of the time we confuse about this. What is this two-third of the member present and voting? Then what about the total membership? Friends, the special majority requires two type of condition. First one is that the majority of the total membership. I'm not talking about the absentee or vacancy. I'm talking about the total membership. So that is the 50%, more than 50% of the total membership. And along with that, the second condition is that the member should be passed this bill by two-thirds of the majority present and voting. And this should be separately in each house. Friends, suppose in any situation there are disagreement between the houses of the parliament, then there is no provision for the joint sitting. So it's a very big issue for the bill if Lok Sabha wants to pass it but Rajya Sabha does not agree with that, then the bill got lapse. Friends, when we talk about the amendment of federal provision of the constitution, that when the parliament seeks to amend the federal provision of the constitution, then it requires the ratification of the half of the state legislature with a simple majority. Mind my word, when we require to amend the federal provision of our Indian constitution, then we require the ratification of the legislature of the half of the state with a simple majority. After passes all those procedure of the amendment bill, then the bill presented in front of the president for his assent. And here friends, after the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971, it is made obligatory for the president to give his assent to the amendment bill. He can neither withhold or nor return to the parliament for reconsideration. He must have to give assent to the amendment bill. And this was ruled in the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act, which is very important point for your examination. So when the president give his assent to the bill, then bill deemed to be the called as the Amendment Act. So this is the procedure of the constitutional amendment. Friends, the as you know that our constitution provides for two type of amendments, that is the amendment through a special majority and ratification of the legislature of half of the states. But there are some other articles which provides for the amendment of constitution but do not deemed to be the purpose comes under the article 368. So those provisions require the simple majority, no require the special majority or not also require the ratification from the state legislature. So here we can say that there are three process of the amendment. That is, the first one is by the simple process, simple majority, which required only the member of houses present and voting, majority of the member of the houses present and voting. The second one is the special majority, and third one is the passage of a special majority in the parliament and the ratification of the half of the state legislature. When we talk about the simple majority process, in this few things you need to know that schedule 2nd, schedule 5th and schedule 6th comes under the simple majority process, and along with that some provisions like the emoluments, allowances, the official language of parliament, the salary of the member of parliament, these provisions comes under the simple majority process. That if the parliament wants to change or wants to amend these provisions, they require simple majority. And when we talk about the special majority, in what case we talk about the special majority? Suppose when you require the impeachment of the president, which comes under the article 61, that is the impeachment of president. In that we require the two-third of the majority of the house present and voting. So, and along with that, if we want to change the or any things regarding the Supreme Court or High Court, then we require the uh, special majority process. And when we talk about the one thing I forgot to inform you that also fundamental rights and the DPSP, that is directive principle and state policy, also comes under the process of special majority, that if they want to change or amend anything in this provision, they can be changed it through the special majority. Friends, here I want to mention one thing that fundamental rights comes under the basic structure of the constitution, so they cannot remove the fundamental rights, but they can amend the fundamental rights. So, and when we talk about the third process of the amendment, that is the special majority as well as the half of the legislature, there comes few points which we need to mention in your answer booklet. That the election of president comes under this process third. Then the any procedure regarding to the Supreme Court, High Court, any provision comes under the schedule 7th will also require the ratification from the state legislature. And the power of parliament itself to change the constitution amendment process, that is the article 68 368 itself required the ratification from half of the state of the legislature. And when we talk about the friends the power of legislative assemblies and the distribution of the power between the state and the parliament also require the special majority as well as the half of the state legislature. So these are the few basic knowledge which you must need to know about the amendment of the constitution. And I hope this will be very helpful for you. And along with this, if you need any other knowledge from me or you have any doubt regarding any topic in this any part of this in this video, then you must mention it in your comment so that I can clear your doubts. And in our next video we will discuss about the basic structure as well and the other provisions of the parliament. So must watch our next video. For that you must need to subscribe our channel, friends. Please subscribe our channel so that it will motivate us to provide you the more video which is required for your UPSC civil services examination. And this channel is especially dedicated to your preparation of UPSC civil services examination. But it's not only that, only the UPSC. If you are preparing for SSC or any other examination, then this video channel will also be very helpful for you. So thank you for watching this video and subscribe this channel, and thanks once again.